Hello, guys. This is Carlos here, or Charlie, as you may know me. Um, I am going to talk to you about our project. I'm talking on behalf of Sitich Vergava, John Paul Londoño, Colonel Bodne, and Danny Ratti. And due the, due all this coronavirus outbreak, uh, we decided to record a video right now. Um, Two members of our team are flying back to India. The other ones are doing the due diligence in supermarkets and stuff like that to get um, things together. So that's why I'm the only one that is going to deliver this video. But it's no problem because at the end of the day, we're a team, and that's why we're here. Um, our team, the Energy Ninjas, we came up with the idea of what about giving it giving new life to the renewables. So, in other words, we want to renew the renewable energies because even the clean energy has waste. But the question is if we are treating it well. So that's what we're going to address. Um, as you may see here, we do have a problem, and it's more serious than you think. Um, do the technological advances in the industry, a lot of windmills farms and a lot of solar panel farms have been having an new generation of equipment. So the old generation has to be disposed, but sometimes it's not disposed in the more proper way. As you can see in the pictures that are right now showing, um, all this waste hasn't been managed in the right way. So and the sad part of this is that most of this equipment still they have a lifespan to work, to still function, but right now this consideration is not being met. So we just have a lot of garbage that we don't know how to treat well. So, for example, just giving a new again two perspectives of this issue, we have the turbines. Right now, worldwide, we have around 300 wind turbines um, globally, and a lot of this equipment is disposed even before its lifespan ends. So we have a lot of unused capacity that is considered as waste. Actually, we can give a second life to this, and that's the idea behind it. But we'll get to that later. But yeah, we have an unused capacity. We have unused equipment that it's in good conditions, in good shape. It's just not as new or not as efficient like the new technologies. But still, we have a solution there. For we just have to find the right fit for it. Um, and also, all this material is really difficult to recycle. So at the end of the day, what we have is a lot of landfills full of wind turbine blades and turbines right here in Europe and in the US. But this is not just an issue for wind turbines; it's also an issue for solar panels. The solar panels are being replaced at a really fast pace, and again, we have an unused capacity of around 80%. So we just have a lot of solar panel that it's considered waste, and this equipment can even work for 10 more years when they're being replaced. So yeah, we see a problem there of two sides. That the problem of having unused capacity that a lot of people could get benefit out of it, but we see the problem of the management of the waste. So we thought about circular economy, and we think that this is just more than a trend, because right now, actually, a lot of industries, when they see the goods, sometimes it's something like this: you take a lot of materials, you make something out of it, and then when you no longer need it, or when your expectation has been met, you just turn this into waste. But actually, circular economy looks things in a more holistic and integral way, where you have a production of something, you get revenue, you get your product design, you get your supply chain, you use it, but instead of just disposing it as waste, or for example, in the image it says incineration, you can actually give a second life to this. You can recycle, you can reuse it, you can, I mean, you can do a lot of things out of this. So this involves resources, this involves how you produce the products, this involves how, what is the footprint of the things that you are using in your day-to-day activities or even in your industries. Actually, there was one industrial designer, his name is Pete Seeger. He used to say, if it can be reduced, reused, repaired, rebuilt, refurbished, refinished, resold, recycled, or composted, then it shouldn't be restricted. It should be restricted, designed, or removed from production. And this is kind of what we are looking for right here. We're trying to look at the unused capacity and reuse it, repair it, rebuild it, like refurbished, giving it a second life, maybe not in the original way that it was intended to be, but yeah, let's reduce our footprint when it comes to these renewables. So yeah, we have a solution for this, and I think that it would be good not just for us, but for a lot of us. We think that all this energy transition, it's a global thing, and it's something that we should take care of it. So when you and just to be clear, we're going to focus on how to the first part of our business model will be just focus on the windmills and its turbines and its wind blades. So for example, right now for all these turbines, all this equipment, actually it can be crashed into small pellets that you can actually use for molding plastic, for example. There is another use that after this crash and going through another chemical process that is called pyrolysis. I think that I hope that I pronounce it well. Either way, Cornell is not going to like it because he's a chemist in our group. But yeah, what this process is about extracting fibers that you can actually use um, to make glue, to make paint, to make concrete, and for example, a lot of eco-sustainable construction firms can actually take advantage of this. You can even make recreational parks. This is an example of Rotterdam. In Rotterdam, they took a lot of these blades and they built an awesome park where kids nowadays have fun. So this is the kind of thing that we meant when refurbished. It's just giving it a real second life. It's not what it was intended to be at the beginning, but you know, let's take advantage that we have a good structural steel and material piece over there, and people can use it. People can enjoy their time with it. Maybe not seeing a beautiful windmill, but actually, playing in it. And of course, this is the main solution that we are looking for is refurbish the windmills, all this unused capacity that instead of going into a landfill, let's take it to developing countries or to energy communities that are looking for a affordable, low cost solution for a wind park in their countries. So, for example, yeah, a lot of developing countries right nowadays, of course, they know about all this energy transition. They know that they need to get into renewables, but let's be serious and let's be realistic for a while. This costs money, and this might be one of the key obstacles that countries in developing stages have to realize in order to get energy. They have to invest a lot of money, and maybe nowadays they don't have it. But when we say developing countries, we meant like the country itself, not just government, but for example municipalities, development associations, um, local associations, local farms. I don't know. It's a lot of potential clients that might need this kind of energy, but because it's a very expensive solution, they're not. willing to go for it. So yeah, what about we can go into actual farms nowadays and try to get their equipment to sell it in maybe 2 years. So you by this way you can finance actually a lot of the process for developing countries, and then they'll get their farm in a midterm. So who are our clients? Yeah, as we are discussing right now, we're talking about developing countries and all that it's in the bubble of developing countries, developing associations, local organizations, municipalities, governments, institutions, schools. All of these kind of clients are our clients, NGOs. But as for example, as we just talked, for each one of the products, for example, of the crushing of the materials, about the pyrolysis and taking, we have a client, a specific client for each one of these solutions. But since this is a bootcamp about energy, I'm just trying to first focus on the fact of building windmills or wind farms for developing countries. So, yeah, we need to talk about money. We need to come up with a business model right now. So, what we are thinking is that it's a process of around 2 to 5 years, but let's imagine the first case of 2 years. Someone approached to us telling us that they need a necessity of building a farm, a wind farm, for a lower price. So we can have like a catalog of the actual big farms, wind farms all over the world. We can approach to them and deal the management or their future disposals. Let's say that we know that here in Belgium there is a windmill near to Antwerp, and we know that this windmill is around 13-year old. It's a 13-year-old windmill. So we can approach to these people and tell them, hey guys, we know that you might get rid of this windmill for a new one in around 2 to 3 years. What about you sell it to us? When you take it down, and you want to take it to a landfill, we can take it from that point forward. So yeah, we take it from that point forward. We check it. We see that it's okay, and then in 2 years we can actually take it to the final client that it's looking for an affordable solution. So for 2 years, we are offering the financing of a project for the developing countries, and we will provide the installation of these new facilities. So at the end, what we are trying to do is giving the windmill a second life to keep delivering clean energy for communities that actually need it. But maybe it's an affordable solution right now. So just to put a little bit of numbers over here, when we check online, what is the price of a 15-year-old used windmill of a capacity of around 2 megawatts? The cost is around 160,000. Yeah, $160,000. Let's imagine that this is just a business case that we're trying to do. Let's imagine that the turbine, or the people that wants to buy the turbine wants to build a four turbine farm, a mini farm. So this would mean that this would cost around $640,000. Um, since we're taking the windmill from Belgium and we want to take it out to another part of the world, let's say Africa, let's say South America, let's say India, we have to go through customs. So we are thinking about a 40% of the direct cost of the turbines. And this is based on the experience of John, because John has worked a lot with international trading. So this is like a good benchmark, the 40%. We're thinking about the installation per turbine is around 50% of the direct cost. Again, all of this is like an allowance kind of model. We need to go deeper into the numbers, but in order to do something for this week, we needed something to advance. Then for the allowance, yeah, here's where the profit and everything would go. and it's right now it's just an allowance. It's a bulk allowance to give a final price to the solution. But nowadays we can say that it's around $50,000. This is based also on the experience of colleagues of mine that have worked in the installation of windmills in Costa Rica. So the total cost of this particular case or of this particular four windmill farm would be around $1,266,000. Nowadays, if you want to buy a new windmill of the same capacity, you would pay around $3.5 million for it, for a new one right now installed. That's like the average price of the market. So we can see a reduction of over 50% of the total cost for turbine that still has 10 more years to go. The lifespan of these turbines is expected to be 25 years. So if you're trying to buy a 15-year-old turbine, you still have 10 more years to go, and the price will be below the half of one new turbine nowadays. So we're thinking about two possible business models, and as we just discussed, this is um, a very rough calculation. We still need to go deeper into the numbers. We still to do a more tune-up calculations. But yeah, this is like the first approach that we're thinking about. Um, right when we have this client need, they came to us. They tell us, hey, I need four windmills in 2 years. Okay, we start looking for it. We found an actual farm that it's willing to sell their windmills to us, their turbines, their equipment to us. So we tell them, okay, in 2 years, I'm going to buy you each of the turbines in 160K dollars, and here's a commitment fee from our part of a 20%. So they know that we won't just walk away. We already paid a 20% of this of the cost of the turbines, and at the same time we asked a 20% a 20% of the project cost to the final client. So this would let us work with no necessity of working capital requirement. The actual okay, the final owner of the windmill is actually already paying for it, so we don't have to get into the necessity of financing our work. The project is financing itself, and we can give the option of just in 2 years pay the total amount of the 80% of the rest of the project, that would be around $1 million, and in that moment we have to pay the 80% of the rest of the turbine cost, that would be around $512,000. This is one business model, and the other one is okay. You know what? We can actually finance your operation, the buying of the turbines. Still, you have to do a commitment fee of 20%, so we can go for it. But then the rest of the money, the 1 million that people still has to pay, I don't know. Maybe we can go for a new solution of monthly installments. 8%. This is just an example of 8% annually, because I think that actually this need to be actually checked from country to country from the solution that we're bringing. But this is just an example of, for example, of 8% annually. You could get $46,000 each month that will actually finance our operations for 2 years, and then just at the end of the 2 years, we will have to go and pay the 80% of the owners, the original owners of the turbines. So I don't want to be repetitive, but again, we still need to look at the numbers for actual figures, for the actual customs, the actual profit that we're looking to get out of these businesses. But yeah, this is what it is. If you heard someone blowing up their noses, it's just because that happened, and you'll see that in the video. Um, okay, so our competitive advantage, why you should trust us. Okay, here's why. I think that first of all, we have a background. The team of the our team's background is really diverse, and that's something that is actually very good for this kind of projects. We have an engineering background from part of our team. We also have the finance, a finance guy that's Danny. We have a chemist that can look into the byproducts process that it's Cronal, the international trading. It's the know-how provided by John, and all the okay, and engineering and project development again. It's she teach and myself. Also, since we are targeting developing countries, I think that I think that we fit quite well. Our team is based from people that it's coming from Latin America, Costa Rica, and Colombia, and also from India. So that's another good thing about us. We know how developing countries actually work. We know that sometimes it's a social thing. We know that sometimes it's how to you have to get to the right people, and our team can provide that actually. And also we want to leverage on the Vlerick network, not just because of Vlerick, but because we see that Vlerick is also interested in all these topics about energy, about entrepreneurial spirit, and I think that that's a competitive advantage that the school can actually give us as future alumni. Oh yeah, I'm call to action is like it's just that we need you. We need expertise. We need advice from all of you. So any feedback is it's super welcome. It's encouraged. We encourage your feedback. We need more network since we're 5 people right now. In the class we have 24 people. I know we have people from England. I know we have people from Turkey. I know we have people from Vietnam. We need uh, your network to build upon this idea. And also, we need our network as a very entrepreneurial venture to actually get um, feedback in our finance model. We need to have better numbers in order to prove our idea. And yeah, that's basically what we are looking for right now. Since we have been looking at all of these we have been encountering all this corona thing. We haven't been able to actually work thoroughly in the business model, but I hope that you get the a little bit of the reason behind it. So yeah, that's us. That's Energy Ninjas. I hope you like it. I hope you understand what we are trying to deliver, and of course, all of that information, that phone number, the email, and the website is completely false. Don't go to there. I don't know what can you find there, but yeah, I am in behalf of my group. I thank you for listening to us, and I hope that you have a very good day, a very good week, a very good ending of your Vlerick journey, and I hope to see you guys soon. Be safe, and thank you very much. Charlie out.